And we're actually, these are our worksheets. I put them on again today, but I sent you this one last week an email where you have the conjunction, you have Saturn to Saturn, you can write the degrees and minutes in on the top. We're going to have to see the dates. These lines are for the dates when they happen. So we know the conjunctions there. We're going to see there's 1, 2, or there may not be any. So there might be, the 1 is when you're born, then you see if it happens again, and we'll write the dates in. Then we get to the second one, and then the third one, and we mostly all this is a Saturn graph. This is 1 cycle, 2 cycles. This is 90 years of your life just spread out like this. So 1 second, let's just get one more here. Here's a filled out one, which we start from there. So when you get to my Saturn, 1946, it stayed from November, it went forward, when retrograde, it stayed within that degree for November. I'm born in October, November, December, January, it was conjunct to Saturn, was conjunct to self that whole time. Then it lifted off and it came back again in June 47, July 47. And then I wrote it down again, and then I'd write the dates down. Now I usually, this is how I used to write. Now I've changed over. I write the year first and then the month as a consistency, but this is, it doesn't matter that much. But, and then you write, and once you got this down, you write what happened for me. My mom, they couldn't find a formula for me for 6 months, and I was really sick. Until they found a soya-based formula because I was having trouble digesting cow's milk. Okay, so then you're going to get to the next one and the next one. You're going to go along, and then you're going to go through and see what, and as you're doing it, usually as you're doing it, you're going to calculate the times. Usually now I calculate all of them, but you're going to want to know it's conjunct. I wonder what happened then. I wonder what happened then. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. Okay. The other thing that's really important is that you take that Excel life graph and the Excel spreadsheet for each month of each year, and you use it. I hope you have. I hope you've used it. It's an investment in all of your advanced studies and transits and progressions, being able to know what happened when. And I call it the recapturing history, because at first you only remember certain things. When I was this age, it takes time to remember, oh, when it was this year, oh, this year, then you see this was going on, oh, that's what's going on. When you get it down to the year, it connects to the same years other people go through their experiences. You get a lot more information. Just say your age, it's floating around in your imagination. Okay, so just as it makes it out of the year. So we're working to get the years and the month of events. So when we're doing our history, we have to go back and think about it. You know, when do we leave home? When do we, what school teachers did I have? What schools did I have? Did I pass? Did I fail? What good things? What bad things? What trips? What sicknesses? What great things? What things happen? And what accomplishment? Anything. You put everything on that history that you can get till eventually. It took me 5 or 10 years before I had something for almost every month. So I'm 70. So there's still a few areas where 4 or 5 months in a couple of years I don't remember exactly, but I've got it down pretty close. So I have to encourage you to keep working with the Excel sheet and keep building up your history and getting these events filled in, because it's going to help you go back. We're going to see it with Saturn. At each planet, we're going to see, oh, what happened then? You go back, oh, that's this. And once you got the main things down there, you'll start remembering more and more things, and you fill this in. So by the end of the class, you'll have recaptured your history and reorganized it. Okay. Okay, I've handed you, now this is one of the books I've made. I made my own ephemeris for 200 years for the first day of each month, where the outer planets are: Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. All the transiting planets you'd watch, all the main ones. And I put where they were within a degree of accuracy, within half a degree. So you know whatever degree it's in. It says it's the degree it's in, it's within half a degree of that. But it's done for every listing for the first of each month. So it's not a long ephemeris, it's a monthly ephemeris with a planet, the position of each planet that's accurate for the first of each month. Okay, so this is, you have a copy of this. It's hang on, I'll just show you. I did make a booklet of it. So I have the booklet, and it just lists the planets. But when I open a book, I have 20 years of transits that I can look at in a second. I never go out the door without this. I bring this. I used to be, before computers, I bring the ephemeris and this, and I could always do someone's chart in the moment. But having the transits, knowing where things are, being able to go forward and backward, it allows you a lot of freedom. And this is a little booklet. So you don't have a booklet. You'll be able to print these out in pages. So you'll be able to clip the pages together, fold them, and bring them with you. But at least it'll still allow you to get this information until you get it more or less memorized, or it becomes that familiar. But it's so useful. It's faster than having to go look it up on a computer and get too much information. You dig in what you want. So I started my astrology without before computers, and I logged in quite a few, well, 7 or 8 years before computers. And then still I was working with the ephemeris for another 10 years until I got programs working that would work well. So this is what one page looks like of the ephemeris. And just gonna explain it a little bit here. 1 second. Okay, page 1. Okay, second page. So on the page, if you look at it, this is 2000 to 2019. So on the top left-hand corner of each square, you're gonna see there's 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. So they go down the page first, 1 year at a time. Okay, 5. So then the first column going down is Pluto's position. You see Pluto at the top, you see 11, 12, 13, 14. You see it go up and down, backwards and forwards as it's going through each year. So you're seeing the transits of Pluto starting at 11 degrees of Sag, and by the time you get to the end, down to 2004, it's at 21 degrees of Sag. So you can watch it moving backwards. You see it degree by degree, and you can watch it that quickly. You can look what month, what year, boom, oh, it's there. Then on the next row in, next column in, you'll see 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. And then you'll see Pluto for 2005 to 2009, going from 21, well, here it says 23 degrees, going from 23 degrees in Sag till it gets into Capricorn in 2006, 2005, 6, 7, 8. 2008, it goes into Capricorn, comes out, backs up again, goes back into Capricorn, and ends up at 3-degree Capricorn at the end of that 5-year path. Then you got 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and then you see the first column is Pluto going down at 2. I'm just doing this to get used to, if you know the tables and you know how it's presenting it, it's easy to go in and look like this to look for things. And again, you see it, Pluto starts out at 3 Capricorn and then moves up to 4 or 5, back to 2 or 3, then moves back and forth, inching along until it gets up to about 12 degrees of Capricorn at 2014. The end of 2014. By 2015, on the far right, the column on the far right, you see 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there you see, and then we'll see Pluto comes along in those times. So if we want to look at 2018, and we go down and look at October 1st, there's Pluto at 19 degrees of Capricorn. It shows the sign up top, but there's 19 degrees of Capricorn. Of course, that's right on my moon. There we go. So what? But it allows us to see where it is and then relate that. It's like the moving hand of a clock moving around the zodiac. And as it moves around, it's just the hands of a clock, but it's touching each of the planets around your chart. So, and each of the planets in your chart are like alarms. And So we have our chart is like a clock with 10 alarms, and as each planet moves around, it's going to touch each one of these alarms, and things are going to happen at each of those times. Right now, we're just looking at the Saturn alarm, Saturn to Saturn, but we're going to see it to everything. So then this shows you there's the whole 20 years Pluto's aspect. So the next one I put in, I drew in Uranus, but I left Neptune open, so you can still, as Neptune is the next columns going along. If we looked at 2018 in October, there's Neptune at 14 degrees Pisces. Okay. And so, you know, if you have anything at 14 degrees Pisces, 14 degrees Virgo, 14 degrees Sag, 14 degrees Gemini, you know, there's going to be a difficult aspect or challenge coming from Neptune. Okay. And the same with Uranus. We follow Uranus around all these years. So we looked at October 2018, we'd see there's Uranus at 1 degree Taurus. It's backing up. It's going to go back into Aries, but right now it's at 1 degree Taurus. Okay, so those are the three outer ones. But the next one is the one we're going to be using right now. We don't have them colored, but this is Saturn as it's going through the 20 years. So right now, if we looked at October of 2018, we see there's Saturn at 3 degrees of Capricorn. It moves up a bit, moves up to 8, and then it moves back down, and moves up, and it moves down. It goes back and forth. So you'll be able to watch its cycles. But this lets us look at 20 years at a moment, and we can jump from 1 year to 7 years later and go on easily, okay, without much difficulty. So I've probably done 5,000 or 10,000 charts. I made most of my graphics up. A lot of these were before computers, and I made these graphics up for every chart, and I would do them by hand using this, and it didn't take a lot of time. So when we're looking inside at each square, here you see on the top left, you see the year is there, 2000. Beneath it, you see all the months. So you see January, February, all the months. So that's really, it's looking at the first of each month. It's the position for the first of each month. And then you'll see, like Pluto at the top, the first one in January shows the degree 11, and then the sign SA Sag. Okay, so 11 Sag. It doesn't repeat the Sag all the way down. It just has the numbers 12, 13, 13, 12, 12, 11, 10, 10, 11, 11, 13. But we know it's in Sagittarius. It's a super symbol, but it's overwhelming if you look at the sheet and you don't know how to work it. So it's important to just go through this, get used to seeing it. Then you see Neptune. There's Neptune. 2000. It's in Aquarius. AQ 3. It's going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4 degrees. So that's how much it moves in a year. Not much. Then we get to Uranus. 2000. This is 2000. It started at 15 Aquarius. Went to 16, 18, 20, 21, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. 17, 17. So then when we look at Saturn, so the key is that the beginning of each year, they put the sign. So when you look at a number, you have to look up to the beginning of the year to see the sign, what sign it's in. In Saturn, and you can't just look at the bottom and look up the sign because it might change. Look at Saturn. It starts at 10 Taurus, goes up to 11, 12, 15, 19, 23, 27, 29, goes to 0 Gemini, goes into Gemini. So you see Gemini comes in, the month it goes into Gemini. Then hits 1 degree Gemini, then it backs up and goes into Taurus. So you see 29 Taurus, you see Taurus again. Then it goes 26 and it'll back up and then it'll come back. So the following year you would see 2001 was that Sag, Aquarius, and Taurus at the top, and they'd go through. And as you look at the other planets, Jupiter moves faster. So it's going to change a lot more often. You'll see the signs changing. And you'll see the bigger gaps, 25, 28, 3, 9, 16. You see it changes about every 5 or 6 days, it goes through a degree.